Hello, band. This personal safety announcement is brought to you by MSUM Public Safety. In the event of an emergency requiring the building to be evacuated, please proceed to the nearest exit. The nearest exit may not be in the direction of your vehicle or destination, but please exit the building through the closest exit and then proceed to your vehicle or destination. Should shelter need to be sought within the building, please proceed in an orderly fashion out the north or east fieldhouse doors and proceed to the hallways in the center of the building away from windows and doors. If you require physical assistance, please notify one of the event staff personnel. Thank you. Miigwech Bea Ayeg, Inde Uomo de MSUM, Dobro Doshli u MSUM, Dobro Pojaloviec v MSUM, MSUM Ma Swagat Chow, Wede MSUM Enquan Dena Metachu, Karibu Kuri MSUM, Mura Chaza MSUM, Marhaban Bikum Fi MSUM, Bienvenue à MSUM, Willkommen auf MSUM, Bienvenidos à MSUM, M-A-S-U-M-A, and welcome to Minnesota State University Moorhead and Nemzek Hall. In keeping with our tradition, we are encouraging graduates, family, faculty, staff, and friends excuse me, to tweet during the ceremony today. Remember to include hashtag MSUM2023 in your tweet. If tweeting is new to you, please refer to the last page of your program or ask the closest younger-looking person sitting next to you for help. Okay, that line is still getting laughs. That makes me happy. As a courtesy to our graduates, we ask that you silence your cell phones. The university has made special arrangements to have a professional photograph taken of each graduate at the time they cross the stage. You may purchase these at a later date. Today's music is provided by the Minnesota State University Moorhead Wind Ensemble under the direction of Dr. Benjamin Druffel, Assistant Professor of Music, and Dr. Michael Johnson, Assistant Professor of Music. Today's interpreter services are provided by ASLIS. A faculty marshal will lead in each college's graduates. Now, please rise to meet our graduates from Graduate Studies, the College of Arts and Humanities, and the College of Education and Human Services, preceded by our distinguished platform guests and members of our faculty. It gives me great pleasure to present the graduates from Graduate Studies, the College of Arts and Humanities, and the College of Education and Human Services to you and President Anne Blackhurst. Please remain standing to meet our special color guard presenting our national colors from the NDSU Army Color Guard. Please remove your hats as you are able and join me in facing our American flag. Dr. Michael Johnson, Assistant Professor of Music, will lead us in singing our national anthem with accompaniment by Dr. Benjamin Druffel and the MSUM Wind Ensemble.
So gallantly sweeping, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. Please be seated. And now, the President of Minnesota State University Moorhead, Dr. Anne Blackhurst.
Welcome and congratulations to our graduates and the friends and family members who have helped today's graduates achieve their goals. This is the day you've been waiting for, graduates, the day you've been working so hard for, the day you've dreamed of since you first joined the Dragon family. Now that it's finally here, I suspect it's bittersweet. There's excitement and anticipation, yes, but also the uncertainty that comes with any life transition. There's the knowledge that you'll miss MSUM and the friendships and memories you've created here. I know how you feel. I'm facing a similar transition as I retire from MSUM after 9 years as your president. Like you, I'm not entirely sure what comes next. But I know one thing for sure. Whatever the future holds, we're up for the challenge. We are dragons, fierce and formidable. We have a fire in our hearts that is fueled by our passion for making our world a better place. We have the grit to pursue big goals and the tenacity to achieve them. We have the humility to understand that no one achieves big goals without a lot of help from others. We will always be dragons, and we will always have the support of our dragon family. Your dragon family is proud of you, graduates, and all you have accomplished to this point. We're also proud of everything you will accomplish because of your MSUM education. We hope you are proud of MSUM and will stay connected to your alma mater. Congratulations. It is an honor to celebrate with you today. We can't wait to see what you accomplish next. At MSUM, our mission is carried out by a team of dedicated faculty and staff. In front of me, you see representatives of our faculty who've played an important role in our graduates' success. Members of the faculty, will you please rise? As I conclude my 40-year career in higher education, I feel well qualified to say that these professors are among the most talented and dedicated educators anywhere. Graduates and members of the audience, please join me in recognizing our outstanding faculty. Joining me on stage are a number of honored guests. Representing our faculty, Dr. Oscar Flores, Faculty Association President. Representing our students, Maximilian Thompson, Student Senate President. Representing the Tri-College University, Tim Flackel, Provost. Representing our Foundation Board, Jan Mahoney, President. And representing the Minnesota State Board of Trustees, George Soule. Also seated on stage are members of the Administrative Council, as listed in your program. To my left is Professor Larry Schwartz, a member of the Minnesota State University Moorhead Library faculty and our MC today. Today, Larry is emceeing his final commencement before his retirement from MSUM. Thank you for your service, Larry. Larry will also introduce our graduates as they receive their diplomas. Throughout the auditorium, you will see students who are wearing red jackets and assisting with the ceremony. These students are Dragon Ambassadors who represent the university with distinction. Minnesota State University Moorhead is part of the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities system, led by Chancellor Devinder Malhotra. Today, we welcome the Honorable George Soule, a trustee for the system. George Soule of Minneapolis is a judge of the White Earth Tribal Court of Appeals and a founding partner of Soule and Stoll, LLC, where he is a civil trial attorney handling cases involving product liability, commercial, and negligence claims. He earned his BA from Minnesota State University Moorhead, then Moorhead State University, and his JD from Harvard Law School. Previously, Judge Soule was a founding and managing partner at Bowman & Brook, LLP. Judge Soule is a member of the board of the Division of Indian Work, and he has served on the board of the Minnesota State University Moorhead Alumni Foundation. He is a fellow of the American College of Trial Lawyers and the International Society of Barristers, and a member of the American Board of Trial Advocates. He serves as a mentor at the University of St. Thomas Law School and is past chair of the Minnesota Commission on Judicial Selection. Trustee Soule was reappointed to the Board of Trustees for a 6-year term by Governor Mark Dayton in 2018. His term will end on June 30th, 2024. Please join me in welcoming a friend and generous supporter of the university, Trustee George Soule.
Today I bring greetings from the Minnesota State Board of Trustees and Chancellor Devinder Malhotra. For me, it's good to be home and to participate in today's commencement ceremony. It's fun to come back to campus on a day where everyone is happy. 8 years ago, I came back to MSUM to serve on the foundation board. And when I returned to campus, many people told me great things about new President Ann Blackhurst. Like so many great things that I was dubious. How could one person be so wonderful? But I soon learned that they were right. President Blackhurst was an outstanding leader who was passionate about improving the educational experience of our students. President Blackhurst, you were always kind and gracious to me, but more importantly, you led this university with grace and compassion and vision, and yes, grit. Your work bettered the lives of literally thousands of MSUM students and community members. Only recently have I come to accept the idea that you are retiring. So on behalf of the board and myself, I want to say thank you for all your important work. We come together today to celebrate the achievements of our graduates, but also to renew our commitment to our state colleges and universities, places of hope and opportunity where all Minnesotans can get learning opportunities to create a better future for themselves, their families, and their communities. One of the great parts of being a trustee at Minnesota State is that I get to serve with so many wonderful people around the state who work together to make the achievements that we celebrate today possible. Thank you to President Blackhurst, her cabinet, and other leadership at the university, and my friends at the foundation. I know that you work tirelessly to promote the interests of your students. And to everyone else who makes this great university work, admissions, student aid, food service, janitors, I have a special place in my heart for your contributions. My father was one of you, a janitor in the student union. He cleaned the floors where all of you have walked. And to the faculty, for many of us here, you are the heart of the university. You work in the classroom, in the labs, as mentors, and that's where the learning occurs. You change lives. You changed my life, or at least your predecessors did. Thank you so much. And thank you to the parents and the family and the friends who support the students. Each year I work at the Minnesota State booth at the State Fair, and I meet parents who come to the booth to ask questions and get information. And this is how it always goes. The parents come up to the booth and the students stand back about 10 feet. But I see the hopes and the dreams you have for your children. Thank you for your support of your family members. And finally, to the graduates, congratulations on your success. I know that it hasn't been easy for you in a pandemic, in a time of social and political unrest and economic change. Many of you had to overcome barriers to enter college and to stay in college. Some of you are the first in your families to graduate from college. And most of you probably balance school with a job and family. Today, your hard work has paid off, and I'm proud of you. So now go out there and do great things with your lives. Take advantage of your opportunities, rise to the top of your fields of work, give back to the community with your support and your time and leadership, whatever your choices. Change the world in ways big or small. So graduates of the class of 2023, on behalf of all of us at Minnesota State, I extend heartfelt congratulations on becoming alumni of Minnesota State University, Moorhead. Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Soul. I'm honored now to introduce our commencement speaker, Ms. Stephanie Ballard. Stephanie Ballard attended Minnesota State University Moorhead from 2009 to 2014. Throughout her years at MSUM, she was involved in athletics, dancing on the Dragon dance team, and serving on the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Stephanie was also involved in housing and residential life, serving as a resident assistant for 2 years and a desk manager for 1 year. She graduated from MSUM in 2014 with a Bachelor of Science in Elementary Inclusive Education with special education licensures in specific learning disabilities and emotional behavioral disorders. Stephanie worked for 2 years as a special educator at Camelot Intermediate School in Brookings, South Dakota, teaching 4th and 5th grade students with intellectual disabilities in a self-contained classroom. She was awarded Camelot Intermediate School Teacher of the Year in 2016. In 2016, Stephanie began working as a special educator at Mickelson Middle School in Brookings, South Dakota, case managing 6th through 8th grade students with disabilities. This year, she transitioned to a general education role, teaching 7th grade math at MMS. She also collaboratively co-teaches inclusion math classes with special education teachers, providing accommodations and modifications to help all students be successful. Throughout her 9 years in education, Stephanie has served on school, district, and educational association committees. She enjoys professional development and leadership opportunities, mentoring new educators in her district. Stephanie was awarded the George S. Mickelson Middle School, Brookings School District, and South Dakota Region 1 Teacher of the Year in 2021, going on to be named the 2022 South Dakota Teacher of the Year. Additionally, she was recently named one of only 5 national finalists for the 2023 NEA and Horace Mann Teaching with Excellence Award. Please join me in welcoming Stephanie Ballard.
Hello, MSUM faculty, graduates, and beloved guests. First, I want to congratulate all of you on this momentous achievement, a milestone I hope will carry you to fulfilling professional and personal lives. I'm humbled to be back here at MSUM, a school that meant a lot to me over the years. It still does. This school helped shape me into the teacher and the person I am today, and I'm excited to share that journey with you as you begin the next chapter in your professional careers. 14 years ago, I fell in love with this university because it felt like home. It was far enough away from my physical home in Hutchinson, Minnesota, that I was forced to plant roots and try new things. It was small enough that doing those things felt possible without getting lost in the numbers. Throughout my 5 years at MSUM, I actively pursued new opportunities, and when one didn't feel right, I tried the next one that came along until I found what I was good at. Honestly, college was easy for me. I received good grades, even though I'm a chronic procrastinator. I wrote this speech like 2 nights ago. And I established friendships relatively easily. And 5 years after my high school graduation, I was sitting in this exact place where you are now, engaged to be married, signed teaching contract in hand, with clear eyes and high hopes to make a world of difference in education. I was in for a huge reality check. While I certainly gained the professional knowledge and skills to be a proficient educator in today's schools, what I didn't know until years later was how much this college grew my perseverance and my need for community, things that would sustain me when my life didn't go according to my plan. I hope you realize the importance of that same perseverance and connection as you graduate today. My first teaching position was in a self-contained special ed classroom in Brookings, South Dakota. I entered my bright teal classroom in the summer of 2014 with almost no supplies, spending loads of my own money and time creating bulletin boards and purchasing classroom and hygiene products. I worked all summer, and I had my carefully decorated classroom ready for my students on the first day of school. It was precious. I was really nervous, but the year was going to be great. And then entered Gabby. This curly-haired, bright-eyed fourth-grade student had the most mischievous smile and stubborn ways I've ever had the privilege of knowing. She was mostly nonverbal, only able to sign or speak a handful of words to communicate her thoughts. Gabby needed help with almost everything: dressing, using the restroom, brushing her teeth, combing her hair, even choosing foods that wouldn't make her gag and choke. And Gabby wanted help with almost nothing. I swear she made it her life's mission to make these simple daily tasks impossible for me. On the first day of school, my carefully curated bulletin board was ripped to shreds in the first 20 minutes of class. For months, Gabby and I battled academically, emotionally, physically, every sense of the word. I struggled to have a reciprocal relationship of trust with her. I was constantly fearful of her noncompliance, constantly uneasy of how her interactions or how her disability impacted her interactions in my classroom, and I was constantly trying to fix her. I'm not sure how or when it happened, but slowly I started to know her, and with that knowledge came understanding and trust. I learned her motivations and passions, and one day I made the biggest risk with Gabby. I let her brush my hair. You would know how big of a risk it was if you knew how many times she had pulled said hair in an act of defiance over those 3 months. But with that trust, Gabby started to make progress. She started using sign language and her voice to communicate her needs, or rather shout the words of her favorite Katy Perry song. She started sitting and playing with peers in my classroom, racing me down the hallways, and for the first time in her education, eating in the cafeteria with her friends. This student is in 12th grade now, and I wish I could say my perseverance moved mountains and took away all her difficulties. It didn't. She is still mostly nonverbal, still has trouble behaving appropriately in group settings, and still has that obstinate demeanor that everyone loves. She still listens to me, though. I get to interact with Gabby frequently around the schools and community, and her eyes still light up when she sees Mrs. Ballard. Now, I don't share this story to discourage you as you enter the workplace, especially those teachers out there, but rather to acknowledge that no matter what degree you hold today and what profession you're entering, you're going to inevitably face struggles in the workplace. Those struggles don't matter in the least, but they also matter a whole lot. The stress of solving every issue in my classroom didn't matter. It still doesn't. 9 years later, I don't remember the standards, the curriculum, the lesson plans, the misbehavior, or the physical exhaustion of that first specific job. What I do remember is the satisfaction of returning to a problem day after day after day with consistency and the gradual progress that followed. Those 17 students who loved coming to school taught me a lot of things, but they taught me the importance of self-sacrificial service and perseverance most, staying committed to my profession even when it got tough. The knowledge and skills you've developed in your undergrad or graduate programs will certainly help you become successful professionals, but having a personal mission and staying grounded in that purpose will help sustain you when challenges arise in your career. The second piece of advice I have for you as you graduate today is the importance of human connection. Excelling in the workplace requires retention, staying committed to growing your skills and honing your craft. However, we live in a society where the majority of people walk away from their field. They walk away from their purpose. And while people's reasons for leaving their professions should always be heard and validated, I believe that building community would help people stay. In the past few years, I'm convinced being a village, not an island, would help our stress. Not only that, but when you truly depend on a team, not working within a vacuum, is when you'll find your true passion and get at the heart of your work. You may ask why I'm so convinced, so let me share with you. 3 years ago, when schools were shutting down nationwide due to the COVID-19 pandemic, I found myself faced with similar obstacles my fellow educators were, trying to teach remotely. My household was also interesting in that I was solving these problems while simultaneously taking care of my toddler at home, all while in and out of the hospital with health complications in the 3rd trimester of my pregnancy. And when I'd finally gotten into the groove of teaching online, this was about 5 weeks in, my son unexpectedly died at 39 weeks pregnant. That was April of 2020. We were never given any medical answers for his death. I spent most of the 2020 summer unsure I would return to teaching. My mental functioning was severely impacted by the weight of grief, so I was unsure I could even keep up with the tasks of being a teacher. More than that, I was fearful of my ability to connect with others and sustain authentic relationships with colleagues and students. But as August 2020 rolled around, I felt this tug of loyalty pulling me back to my classroom. It was the right decision. In grief, I wanted two things: to see the negative in everything and to isolate. But in the months following Jet's death, I chose to seek out the best in people, to accept their support, and to build relationships, even when I wanted the exact opposite. I was met with a community seeping with generosity. Family, friends, and colleagues all over the Brookings community rallied together to support my family, delivering meals and care packages for months on end, and fundraising to cover medical and funeral costs. I had coworkers who genuinely helped me with delays in my cognitive functioning, making sure I would make it through the school day in one piece. I was blessed with a multitude of individuals who built relationship with me in my grief, finding all the right moments to encourage me. Words will never express the support I've been given in the hardest years of my life and what it's meant to me and my family. I'll never be able to thank these individuals enough. Trauma had a significant impact on my life, my ability to function at home and at work. But people met me where I was, built relationship in my pain, and gave tangible support, helping me relearn how to do what I love, to teach. I became a better educator because of them. I became a better person because of them. Through hardship, I found I'm able to establish even more authentic relationships with my students and colleagues as I've gained new perspectives of what's really important in life. I've grown in my ability to connect with people who've experienced their own traumas, and I found a new calling within my profession to deepen connections and serve others. I could have easily been an okay teacher who left the field because my personal life was too hard. No one would have faulted me for walking away and leaving my profession. But because others offered tangible support and I pressed into that community, I became an excellent teacher. It's not a coincidence the 3 years following this personal tragedy have been the most rewarding years, not only in my profession, but in my entire life. Being an adult is hard. No one is immune to difficulties in their profession or their personal home life. Your mental and emotional health is important. But sometimes the things and places you fear the most could be the very places that help you heal and give you purpose. So when you face struggles and you feel burnt out, and I promise you will, I encourage you to reflect on why you worked for this degree, the deserved pride you feel in this very moment, and hold on to your purpose through supporting others and building authentic relationships. I'll leave you with this story from my second year of teaching, back to that self-contained classroom and those 17 students who were sweet and loving and innocent and so very naughty. One particular student, a girl of mine, had a habit of getting in trouble in the restroom. She was usually hiding in the bathroom stall to eat the whole orange or the carrots and ranch that she had literally shoved in the pocket of her jeans. On this particular day, I had a group of 5th graders approach my classroom inquiring for help in the bathroom. Apparently, a student of mine was sitting on the floor of the handicap stall and wouldn't open the door. Upon further investigation, I realized that this mischievous bathroom lover of mine had gone into the bathroom and locked each of the 10 stalls in the girls' bathroom before coming back to class. And another of my students was in the end stall, the handicap stall, and she'd lost consciousness during a grand mal seizure. In that moment, I became unrecognizable. I snapped into action, shouting on nearby teachers to call 911, grabbing her seizure medication from my classroom, and crawling the lengths of 10 bathroom stalls, touching God knows what in the process, all to get to Samantha and administer this life-saving medicine. After what seemed like an eternity, Samantha gained consciousness, went to the hospital, and she was her bubbly self back in my classroom a week later. As a Roman poet Horace once said, adversity has the effect of eliciting talents, which in prosperous times would have lain dormant. In other words, challenges are beneficial because they bring out talents and passions that would have stayed hidden otherwise. That adversity can bring out our best work as humans. We never know who's going to cross our paths tomorrow, next week, next month, or next year. We never know who's going to need our help, whether in the form of simplifying fractions or in a health crisis. We never know how we'll be needed or the future impact of our actions. So holding on to your purpose could help you build a rewarding career, but it also might be saving a life. Thank you for letting me share my stories and witness this huge moment in your lives. You have so much to be proud of and so much to look forward to. I'm excited to see what you do. Congratulations, MSUM Class of 2023. Thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie. And now, Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs, Dr. Eric Jackson, will introduce our honored graduates.
Good afternoon. Members of the audience, you will notice colored ribbons, pins, and stoles distinguishing some of today's graduates. These are symbols of outstanding academic accomplishments or other affiliations and activities. Some graduates are wearing honor cords, which signify high academic achievement. Cum laude graduates are wearing white honor cords. Will our cum laude graduates, as listed in the commencement program, stand and be recognized? Magna cum laude graduates are wearing red honor cords. Will our magna cum laude graduates, as listed in the commencement program, stand and be recognized? Our summa cum laude graduates are wearing red and white honor cords. Will our summa cum laude graduates, as listed in the commencement program, stand and be recognized? Our honors program graduates are wearing a gold stole. Will our honors program graduates, as listed in the commencement program, stand and be recognized? We would also like to take this opportunity to recognize those in the audience and those graduating today who at some point in their lives have either served in the armed forces or await fulfillment of military duties. Will our graduates who have participated in military service please stand and be recognized? Now, will the members of the audience or members of the faculty who have engaged in military service please stand and be recognized? On behalf of the university, I thank you for your service. Now, in demonstration of our core values of grit, humility, and heart, will those members of the audience, members of the faculty, or members of today's graduating class who are first in their families to graduate from college, please stand and be recognized. And finally, will those members of the audience or members of the faculty who are MSUM alumni please stand and be recognized? It is inspiring to see so many MSUM alumni and friends who are transforming the world. Graduates will be invited to the stage by student ambassadors led by faculty marshals. Each graduate will be introduced as they walk across the stage to receive their diplomas and congratulations from President Blackhurst. All students who have met these requirements for graduation are listed in the program. However, the names of the students graduating in absentia will not be read. All degrees granted today will be conferred through the deans of their respective colleges. Please hold your applause until all the candidates for each college have been presented.
Doctor, roll first. Yes. Okay. Dr. Robert Nava, Associate Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of Graduate and Extended Learning, will present the candidates for graduate degrees. Dr. Nava.
A doctoral degree is the ultimate academic honor the university can bestow upon a student. Scholars earning the doctorate have transitioned from being our students to our colleagues. As a token of our esteem and respect, doctoral candidates will be invested with a hood by Dr. Lee and their faculty advisor. The remaining graduate candidates, hooded in a separate ceremony, will cross the stage to receive their diploma. Will the candidates for the graduate degrees please rise and remain standing? President Blackhurst, it is my privilege to present the candidates for graduate degrees. On behalf of the graduate faculty, I certify that these candidates have met all graduate, college, and departmental requirements for the degrees to be conferred.
As president of Minnesota State University Moorhead, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, in recognition of your accomplishments in advanced study, I confer upon you the Doctor of Education, Master of Arts, Master of Science, or Specialist degree as appropriate, with all the rights and privileges attached thereto. Please come forward, graduates, to receive your diploma, and congratulations.
Dr. Tonya Allen, Doctor of Education and Educational Leadership, Dr. Boyd Bradbury, Advisor. Dr. Rachel Axness, Doctor of Education and Educational Leadership, Dr. Ximena Suarez Sousa, Advisor. Dr. T.J. Brown, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkland, Advisor. Dr. Samantha Gort, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkland, Advisor. Dr. Anna Gross, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. Dr. Katie J. Johnson, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Boyd Bradbury, Advisor. Dr. Sidney Lund, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Ximena Suarez Sausa, Advisor. Dr. Molly McKinnon, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. Dr. Tia Miles, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Boyd Bradbury, Advisor. Dr. Sarah Milner, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Ximena Suarez Sausa, Advisor. Dr. Thomas Anthony Rayburn, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. Dr. Joy Seymour, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. Dr. Kirsten Scatfold, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. Dr. Danielle Smith, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Boyd Bradbury, Advisor. Dr. David Wolf, Doctor of Education in Educational Leadership, Dr. Andrew Birkeland, Advisor. I read that too, right? Yep, that's right. Degree. Yeah. Hala Kureni, Master of Arts in Teaching English as a Second Language. Fazia Rigi, Master of Arts in Teaching English as a Second Language. Anissa Mary Elkier, Master of Arts in Teaching English as a Second Language. Glory Ames, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Allison Ader, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Madison Bear, Master of Science in Counseling. Leah Beckland, Masters in Educational Leadership. Rachel Beadle, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Jordan Berger, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Gabby Bukins, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Brandy Björklund, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Emma Josephine Bachman, Master of Science in Counseling. Casey Bredvik, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Janace Lee Christjohn, Master of Science in Special Education. Brian Connolly, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Tenny Ebson, Master of Science in Counseling. Michael Allen Every, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Jenna Fisher, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Brenda Francis, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Alexander Michael Greenway, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Parker Hall, Master of Science in Counseling. Ali Harter, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Kaylin Hooshagen, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Olivia Ersfeld, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Mark Lewis Jacobs, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Chase Johnson, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Anna Joyce, Master of Science in Counseling. Brittany Ray Kasprick, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Heidi King, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Kalissa Klimek, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Ashley Comer, Master of Science in Counseling. Amanda Kruger, Master of Science in Special Education. Lauren Ashley Lauerman, Master of Science in Counseling. Bobby Marie Lewis, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Amanda Rose McNamee, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Courtney Ann Miedema, Master of Science in Counseling. Shelby Miller, Master of Science in Special Education. John Norman Muhlenpoe, Master of Science in Special Education. Amanda Jo Nelson, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Brinley Nielsen, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Cheyenne O'Lean, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Stacy Olson, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Emery Palm, Master of Science in Special Education. Megan Lynn Parento, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Monica Ann Parento, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Brittany Peterson, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Matthew David Peterson, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Lakin Fifley, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Berlin Taylor Solway, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Autumn Marie Schaefer, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Annie Schnobrick, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Julianne Faye Stark, Master of Science in Counseling. Sarah Jane Swan, Master of Science in Counseling. Emma Jo Steckler, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Kylie Isabella Stuhag, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Danielle Swart, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Karen Angela Stish, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Bridget Tooze, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Cole Tabert, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Elizabeth Marilyn Thompson, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Caitlin Elizabeth Voroniak, Master of Science in Special Education. Ryan Voss, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Sarah Voss, Master of Science in Counseling. Whitney Voss, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Alexis Lee Warner, Master of Science in Counseling. Logan Winter, Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. Jennifer Zabachnik Martin, Master of Science in Curriculum and Instruction. Cami Jolene Zeltinger, Master of Science in Educational Leadership. Jeremiah Douglas Burgard, Specialist in Educational Leadership. Sarah Heisey, Specialist in Educational Leadership. Shauna Hooper, Specialist in Educational Leadership. Caitlin Johnson, Specialist in Educational Leadership. And representing the graduate faculty, Dr. Nancy Paul, Professor in Speech, Language, and Hearing Sciences. Congratulations, graduates. And now, the MSUM Wind Ensemble, under the direction of Dr. Benjamin Druffel, will perform the musical selection Hounds of Spring by Alfred Reed. I just want to check in with my colleagues in the first two rows here in the thick, synthetic, unbreathable doctoral robes. Is everybody doing all right? Reasonably? No, Julia's not. Okay. Please give us the high sign if, please remember that if you fall out of your chairs to keep the fire lanes free. Okay. Dr. Kaya Christiansen Nelson, Dean of the College of Arts and Humanities, will present the candidates for degrees from the College of Arts and Humanities. Dr. Christiansen Nelson.
Will the candidates for the degrees in the College of Arts and Humanities please rise and remain standing? President Blackhurst, it is my privilege to present the candidates for the degrees in the College of Arts and Humanities. On behalf of the faculty of the college, I certify that these candidates have met all college, departmental, and undergraduate requirements for the degrees to be conferred.
As president of Minnesota State University Moorhead, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, I confer upon you the Associate of Arts, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, or Bachelor of Science degree, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Please come forward, graduates, to receive your diploma, and congratulations.
Yes, I have thoughts about that. I'll keep those to myself. Ready? Bachelor of Arts, Blake Sipperly. Nicole Genevieve Harris. Haley Lynn Call, summa cum laude. Catherine Kisongo. Jonathan Ness. Olivia Landsverk, magna cum laude, theater. Alexandra Leverson. Libby Poyser, theater. Bryn Elizabeth Teskey. Isabel Young. Connor Thompson. Bachelor of Fine Arts, Carter Akas, summa magna cum laude. Alicia Cynthia Abeta, cum laude. Rihanna Jocelyn Amberg, magna cum laude. Evan Michael Beekman, summa cum laude. Jenna June Bourget, cum laude. Sierra Branson, magna cum laude. Shayla Dervisic, summa cum laude. Mary Catherine Davidal, magna cum laude. Brooklyn Joy DeMars, magna cum laude. Kristen Marie Dodds. Kevin Emery Erickson. Noah Dylan Forkel. Catherine Elizabeth Fries, summa cum laude. Tyler Jonathan Haynes, summa cum laude. Jamie Lee Hennessy, magna cum laude. Allison Meredith Hint, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Coppin. Julia Kenniston. Sean Patrick Hines, magna cum laude. Olivia Carey Koskela. Noah Alexander Kushel. Nicholas Kushnerek, magna cum laude. Abigail Patience Larson, summa cum laude. Elika Ludwig, summa cum laude. Rowan Marie Mathwig. Haven Ray Bruns, magna cum laude. Claire Joan Horn, summa cum laude. There's nothing to prevent the rest of you from celebrating in the same way. Jacob Cleveland Woody. Sierra Ulloa. Andrew Jacob Danielson, summa cum laude. John Kellett McBroom. Sarah Michelle Mendes. Noelle Elizabeth Myers, summa cum laude. David Nelson, magna cum laude. Nathan Gage Nelson. Vincent Patrick Omstead, summa cum laude. McKenna Olson. Grace Elizabeth Irish Parento, magna cum laude. Marshall Peens, summa cum laude. Brianna Lynn Ranucci. Gunnar Sattler. Leilani Shupan, cum laude. Kanami Sonobe, magna cum laude. Lindsay Amanda Spindler. Holly Marie Stedman, summa cum laude. Jeffrey Sullivan, cum laude. Kendra Ann Tullum, summa cum laude. Sage DeLynn Tremaine. Aubrey Lynn Vivant, summa cum laude. Emma Carolyn Witamaki. Bachelor of Science, Lily Ann Onus. Ryan Michael Bieberdorf, magna cum laude. Adolfo Fuentes, Jr. Julian Hoy, magna cum laude. Ashton Johnson. Cameron Lee Kobernick, summa cum laude. Daniel Rod Olson. Jacqueline Ortner, summa cum laude. Orrin Kendall Printy. Thomas Merlin Reed. Brittany Ann Ringler, magna cum laude. Penelope Harper von Batavia, magna cum laude. Cha Vang. Sam Graham Wissenden. Kayla Elizabeth Witherell, summa cum laude. Isaac Anthony Whittoon. Jacob Michael Lawrence Zaka, magna cum laude. And representing the faculty from the College of Arts and Humanities, Dr. Tom Strait, professor in the School of Performing Arts. Congratulations, graduates. And now, Dean Kaya Christiansen Nelson will introduce our student speaker, Shayla Dervisic.
Shayla Dervisic grew up in Fargo, North Dakota, and was a 2020 graduate of Davies High School. She is the daughter of Zahida and Shachir Dervisic, who arrived in the U.S. from Bosnia in the mid-1990s. Shayla will be graduating with a dual major in history and political science from MSUM today. She is fluent in English and Bosnian and is working toward fluency in French and Spanish, and she plans to add Russian down the road. Her academic goal includes teaching English abroad and then attending graduate school to become a professor of U.S. history. Some of her favorite memories of MSUM includes her classes with Dr. Paul Kramer, and she notes that his constitutional law course lectures were some of the most interesting she has ever heard, a perfect blend of political science and history. Shayla notes that MSUM has been a stepping stone for her life. Professors, mentors, and new friends have helped her time here to be academically, socially, and emotionally fulfilling, and she is proud to be a dragon. Please join me in welcoming Shayla.
Thank you for that generous introduction. I am elated to be here today as we celebrate and graduate MSUM's class of 2023. There are over 800 students graduating today, and it is genuinely an honor to stand before you. Thank you to everyone who made this day possible. Honestly, when I received the news that I was selected to be speaker, I wasn't terribly eager to accept. I found out I was graduating literally weeks ago and planned on not telling anyone about it, let alone attend graduation. My parents would just get a diploma mailed home, but I wouldn't be there to deal with the fallout because I had already booked a trip to Mexico that I didn't tell them about either. So really, thank you, because this is the exact opposite of how I intended to walk out of here today. I hope you know how proud I am to share this day with all of you. Not a single one of us has arrived at this common destination by doing it alone. From those who have loved us, believed in our futures, showed us empathy or kindness, or told us the truth even when it was hard to hear. We are a patchwork quilt of all of those who aided us on this journey. When you celebrate your accomplishments today, I hope you find the time to remember them. Maybe they aren't with us anymore, but if they are here in this room, I hope you will find a way to express your gratitude. I will never be able to find the words to thank my mom, dad, and 3 older sisters for the sacrifices they made along the way so I could be standing up here with all of you today. Most of my appreciation, however, goes to my 2 children at home, my dogs, Bucky and Archie. My parents immigrated to America in the mid-90s as refugees from Bosnia, and they never had the opportunity to receive a quality education of their own, but that never stopped them from supporting mine. It was watching them, despite all of the odds stacked against them, display hard work, determination, and patience that made me the person I am today. My parents always say, if you want something done right, you do it yourself, which is a lesson I will carry for the rest of my life. And I know it works because it was my motto during those god-awful group projects. I know you can all relate. Seriously, I am forever indebted to them, and all I do is in hopes that they will be proud. No words will ever be enough to show my appreciation. I, in no way, feel qualified to tell you what to do or how to feel as you leave MSUM today and go out into the world searching for what comes next. How do I give advice to this many people about their life choices? I won't. I'm waiting for the same unsolicited advice that you are, and hopefully it comes from a wise, old, Yoda-like person. But in this situation, I guess I've been officially solicited to share whatever wisdom I might have. What I know is a mix of scary and cool news. It's totally up to you. But truth is, you already know what you're doing, even if you don't think so. You have worked, sacrificed, struggled, and dreamed your way here today. You have earned the right to decide what comes next. And realistically, no one has to decide what they're going to do with their lives when they're in their early 20s. There is so much going on physically, emotionally, energetically, and spiritually in our lives. 1 second, you're a kid, and the next, you're an adult. It's a very fraught and laden time, but it's also a joyous and unforgettable time. In the intensity of the peaks and valleys, there doesn't seem to be a lot of middle ground. We will screw it up sometimes, but we will recover, learn from it, and become more resilient because of it. I've found that you yourself know what is best, so you have to trust in listening to your gut. And along the way, you have to check in with your heart. When those 2 things get to working in harmony, which they will, you will know exactly what it is you want. And if that doesn't work out, I found that you can go really far in life by just pretending to know what you're doing. Speaking to a group of individuals who will overwhelmingly go into education, I hope you have been paying attention to the news. There have been policies from Texas to North Dakota that serve to only further marginalize a group of already vulnerable young people. particularly those who are part of the LGBTQ community. In the face of adversity, we have a moral responsibility to stand up for values of equality and justice. When students feel unsafe, unseen, or unvalued, they do not come to school. And when they don't come to school, negative consequences compound and society suffers as a whole. Harrowing acts like erasing someone's existence from the curriculum or banning their personhood from classroom discussion should serve as important reminders. It does not infringe on anyone else's rights to share spaces with those who are different. Expelling people based on race, religion, gender, or status, or restricting lessons on racism and gender equality are the mask of a fear of difference. In teaching and learning, relationships are at the heart of all that we know. Feeling accepted and protected is necessary to be able to learn. It is incumbent upon us as the future leaders of this system to create cultures of care and open doors of opportunity. By rejecting these dangerous and discriminatory policies, we work toward creating a compassionate and just society, one that honors the dignity and worth of all of its citizens. I can only hope that we can support these students in their pursuit of educational enrichment in the same way it was provided to us. From family and friends, to teachers and staff, to therapists and bartenders, these last few years have been triumphant because we were all in this together. Although it is debatable whether these are truly the best years of our lives, I ardently believe that we will look back at these memories fondly. So, as we gather as dragons one last time, I'd like to quote Taylor Swift, which, if you know me whatsoever, is not the least surprising. From her song Long Live off her album Speak Now, which she will be re-releasing on July 7th, long live all the mountains we moved. I had the time of my life fighting dragons with you. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2023.
Thank you, Shayla, and in the words of people my age, right on. And now, Dr. Oki Lee, Dean of the College of Education and Human Services, will present the candidates for degrees from the College of Education and Human Services. Dean Lee.
Will the candidates for degrees in the College of Education and Human Services please rise and remain standing? President Blackhurst, it is my privilege to present the candidates for degrees in the College of Education and Human Services. On behalf of the faculty of the college, I certify that these candidates have met all college, departmental, and undergraduate requirements for the degrees to be conferred.
As president of Minnesota State University Moorhead, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees for the Minnesota State Colleges and Universities, I confer upon you the Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Science, or Bachelor of Social Work, as appropriate, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Please come forward, graduates, to receive your diplomas, and congratulations.
Bachelor of Arts, Suham Sharif Ali. Sumaya Ali, cum laude. Brianna Marie Clem, cum laude. Sabrina K. Forty Kerba, magna cum laude. Matea Lou Gardner, cum laude. Mahelith Tadessa Habtemeskel, cum laude. Ashley Sarah Halliday, summa cum laude. Mackenzie Jacobs, summa cum laude. Lindsay Elizabeth Johnson, cum laude. Caitlin Jansen, summa cum laude. Cyan Rochelle Jepson. Zoe Lee Direx Marcotte, summa cum laude. Michael James McClanahan, summa cum laude. Michael McCombs. Carter Jean Miners. Liam Miller, summa cum laude. Farron Ava Moodney, magna cum laude. Hallie Nottage. Samantha Nicole Rogers. Joshua James Swanson, cum laude. Cameron John Peterson Walkowiak, cum laude. Jeff David Wandschneider, cum laude. Allison Wetstein. Autumn Ufusik Wolf. Bachelor of Science, Jada Dawn Ashmore, summa cum laude. Katrina Bayumpa, magna cum laude. Sienna Hope Bertram, cum laude. Paige Marie Bischoff. Courtney Danielle Bitts, summa cum laude. Alida Lee Blazik, magna cum laude. Lauren Taylor Borland, summa cum laude. Delaney Marie Collins, summa cum laude. Kirsten Rachel Dragseth, magna cum laude. Allison Ecker, summa cum laude. Bailey Carolyn Erickson, cum laude. Caitlin Eileen Erickson, magna cum laude. Kylie Lucille Esch, summa cum laude. Hannah Charlene Feigum, magna cum laude. Mabel Ann Femright, cum laude. Kayla Hope Ferguson, summa cum laude. Ryessa Irene Gira, cum laude. Tristan Lee Gregory, cum laude. Hadley Hansen, summa cum laude. Allie Catherine Helgo, cum laude. Kaylee Hins, summa cum laude. Molly Joanne Holte, summa cum laude. Sydney Lorraine Hovland, summa cum laude. Bellamy Grace Jensen, magna cum laude. Ruth Grace Jensen. Annika Johnson, cum laude. Abigail Dawn Kautzman. Taylor Nicole Kern, magna cum laude. Ava Kieser, summa cum laude. Kaylee Ann Kraus, magna cum laude. Kenzie Estelle Lampe, summa cum laude. Caitlin Rose Lanners, cum laude. Chloe Niobe Lear, summa cum laude. Rebecca Jean Lear, summa cum laude. Megan McBride, magna cum laude. Mariah Lorraine McKeever, magna cum laude. Kayla Ann Meyer, magna cum laude. Maddie Sue Middendorf, cum laude. Madison Miller, cum laude. Cass Michael Milne, summa cum laude. Nicole Page Mulcahy, cum laude. Regan Thomas Nelson, magna cum laude. Carly Ann Nicholson, cum laude. Alexandra May Nyhill, summa cum laude. Emily Lynn Olson. Camden Violet Patterson, summa cum laude. Courtney Pop. Catlin Mary Rademacher, magna cum laude. Greta Allison Reichman, summa cum laude. Anna Michelle Rinke. Ethan Michael Rader, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Rosson, summa cum laude. Caitlin Salter, magna cum laude. Taya Sheely, cum laude. Tara Schonert, cum laude. Rachel Nicole Schrader, magna cum laude. Allie Marie Searles, magna cum laude. Chloe Elise Smith. Riley Joe Smith, cum laude. Aaron Edward Solberg. Britta Ann Sonmore, summa cum laude. Chloe Sprinkle, magna cum laude. Ashley Stanton. Caitlin Marie Stickler, magna cum laude. Parker Ryan Severson, cum laude. Alexis Lauren Tersch, summa cum laude. Kayla Thompson, magna cum laude. Seth Bradley Towers, magna cum laude. Carter Keith Cheetah, magna cum laude. Rebecca Joy Von Hall, summa cum laude. Brooklyn Elizabeth Von Bank, summa cum laude. Abigail Renee Weber, summa cum laude. Bachelor of Social Work, Grace Elaine Becker, summa cum laude. Emily N. Briss, summa cum laude. Tara Lynn Carlson, magna cum laude. Nicole K. Colon, summa cum laude. Lexi Elizabeth Davis. Mariamo Muhammad El-Moge. Bennett Grove, magna cum laude. Act as if nothing happened. Hillary J. Hafner, summa cum laude. Rachel Suzanne Hagan, magna cum laude. Gracie Ellen Hennon. Marley Elizabeth Hoffert. Cara Lynn Hollebuck, summa cum laude. Angelique Koronsky, cum laude. Megan Genevieve Johnson. The Education and Human Services College is out of control. Cammie Lee. Alexis Leininger, magna cum laude. Hannah Marie Morton. Sandali Norinder. Paige Ann Rourke. Viana Schermerhorn, summa cum laude. And representing the faculty from the College of Education and Human Services, Tracy Neusser, professor in the School of Social Work. Congratulations, graduates.
Will our spring 2023 graduates please stand? Members of the audience, please join me in congratulating our newest graduates. And now, graduates, I invite you to turn and applaud your parents, family, and friends who have supported you through the years. Graduates, you can remain standing. As we celebrate your transition from student to graduate, we also pay tribute to the traditions of our past through the Minnesota State University Moorhead alma mater. Audience members, please rise. And let's all join Dr. Michael Johnson, accompanied by the MSUM Wind Ensemble, in singing the Minnesota State University Moorhead alma mater, which is printed on the back of your commencement program.
Seekers of truth.
Students, faculty members, and platform party, please remain standing for the recessional. Members of the audience, you may be seated. Today's ceremony is now concluded. Congratulations to one and all.